The story opens with a horrifying ritual hidden from the eyes of the world. Deep beneath the ground lies a massive pit overflowing with decaying human bodies. Around this terrifying place stand the richest and most influential people on Earth. Their desire for power has consumed every bit of humanity in sight. Without hesitation, they are willing to betray, destroy, and even sacrifice one another to become the most powerful. Suddenly, a mysterious ring is thrown into the pit. The moment it lands, everyone loses control. Like savage beasts, they leap into the pile of corpses, clawing, biting, and brutally attacking each other just to claim that single ring. But none of them realizes the horrifying truth. The instant the first light of sunrise touches the earth, whoever is wearing that cursed ring will explode into countless pieces. Blood and flesh will scatter everywhere. What is the secret behind this deadly ring? Why does a helpless bride dressed in red stab her own husband through the neck? And how do two orphan sisters become the greatest threat to the world's darkest and most powerful secret society? To uncover the answers, we must return to where this nightmare truly began. The story shifts to a grand palace completely consumed by flames. The night sky glows with the fire as the entire mansion burns to the ground. Sitting silently on the palace steps is a young woman named Grace. She is wearing a beautiful white wedding dress, but it is now soaked in blood. Her expression is empty, almost lifeless, as if she has witnessed something beyond imagination. Only moments earlier, her own in-laws had hunted her like prey, determined to kill her. Soon, police officers, firefighters, and ambulances rush to the scene. The officers attempt to question Grace, but the trauma is too much for her to bear. She struggles to breathe before collapsing unconscious. The medical team quickly places her inside an ambulance and races toward the hospital. On the way, Grace's heartbeat suddenly stops. Doctors and paramedics immediately begin CPR, fighting desperately to bring her back to life. While unconscious, terrifying memories begin flooding her mind. She remembers her wedding night, when her new family forced her into a deadly game of hide-and-seek. They belonged to an ancient and terrifying secret cult that believed sacrificing Grace would complete a dark ritual. But Grace refused to become their victim. She fought for her life throughout the entire night. When sunrise finally arrived, the ritual failed, and every member of her husband's family met a horrifying fate. One after another, their bodies exploded violently, covering everything in blood. After an intense struggle, the doctors finally managed to revive Grace. As she slowly opens her eyes, she realizes she's lying in a hospital bed with heavy metal handcuffs locked around her wrists. Just then, a senior police officer enters the room and delivers shocking news. Investigators have recovered 2 bodies from the burned palace. Even worse, the blood covering Grace's wedding dress isn't hers. Because of the evidence found at the scene, she is now the prime suspect in a double murder and arson investigation. At that very moment, the hospital room door opens. Grace's older sister, Faith, walks inside. The 2 sisters haven't seen or spoken to each other in nearly 7 years. Giving them a moment alone, the officer quietly leaves the room. The silence between them doesn't last long. Old wounds quickly reopen. Grace learns that Faith had been living in the same city all these years, but never once tried to contact her. The truth cuts deeper than any knife. With tears in her eyes, Grace asks the question that has haunted her for years. When I needed you the most, where were you? Faith refuses to back down. She reminds Grace that it was Grace who walked away from their relationship first. Then Faith asks the one question that matters most. What really happened inside that palace that night? Unable to hide the truth any longer, Grace breaks down in tears and tells her everything. How her own husband betrayed her, how her in-laws tried to sacrifice her, and how she witnessed their horrifying deaths with her own eyes. Faith listens carefully, but she simply cannot believe a single word.